Hello everyone and welcome to Mayhem 724 YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video thumbs up. The eavesdropper was shocked by Nick's bold wedding decision. When it comes to Ridge Forrester and the future she desires, Taylor Hayes will take matters into her own hands. According to Monday, July 23rd spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Taylor will feel compelled to take extreme measures in order to fulfill her word to Ridge that she will never allow Brooke Logan to stand in their way again. Ridge hasn't provided concrete evidence of his commitment to Taylor, despite his constant assurances to the contrary. An engagement ring, in Taylor's opinion, would make a big difference and demonstrate to Brooke that Ridge is committed to the long term. In an ideal scenario, Taylor would undoubtedly prefer that Ridge make the proposal. But if Taylor waited for Ridge to pop the question, she might have to wait forever. Taylor will also have no qualms about organizing her proposal and acquiring a ring for herself because she is a sophisticated woman who knows how to take the initiative. It turns out that Taylor will choose to pop the question in Illinois Giardino, so she will soon call Ridge in for a formal speech. Taylor will push Ridge into an unexpected wedding in the hopes of getting married to him again. Coincidentally, Nick Marone will be at Deacon Sharp's restaurant when this marriage proposal takes place. Nick will have the opportunity to listen in on the conversation and witness Taylor's glitz. With regard to the idea of destiny, Nick has been pursuing Brooke and attempting to alter her viewpoint. Nick will therefore be very curious to see how Ridge reacts to Taylor's proposal. Nick will promptly inform Brooke of any new information he finds out. Fans of B&B can anticipate that Ridge will be caught off guard and find it difficult to respond till that time. It won't be easy for Ridge to deal with this predicament, but he can't leave Taylor hanging forever. Taylor will continue to hold out hope that she will marry Ridge again and lead a happy life. Unfortunately, Taylor's romance is doomed regardless of the response Ridge gives her in the upcoming episodes. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge's life will see more love developments during the July sweeps, so check in to see him turn back towards Brooke. Is this Jacqueline MacInnes Wood's fifth child? Jacqueline MacInnes Wood announced earlier this year that she is expecting her fifth child, according to teasers and updates for The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans are using social media to learn more about the actress's life, though, and are already conjecturing that she may have already given birth to her fifth child. Wood has so far 4 sons. Wood's most well-known role as an actress is that of Steffy Forrester on The Bold and the Beautiful. It's interesting to note that after Wood took over the part, her character was transformed into adulthood. She made news in 2013 when she said she was taking a break from the soap opera, but she returned in 2015. In her personal life, Wood has 4 sons, Rise Harlan, Lennox, Brando Elian, and Vala James. She is married to Elan Ruspoli. In 2025, Wood excitedly announced to her admirers that she was expecting her 5th child. Wood announced her pregnancy on social media. Wood recently shared the happy news of her pregnancy on Instagram, and the celebrity said, "I'm almost 7 months along at the time. This is such a significant time for us, full of love, energy, and enthusiasm. Our family is overjoyed, and my kids are excited." Supporters noticed that Wood had recently stopped using social media, which sparked speculation that she might have given birth during that period. Her most recent photo, which featured Wood with bunnies next to her sons in a carousel, was from April and appeared to celebrate the Easter festival. Her words gave fans the impression that she had given birth to a girl named Grace. Wood said in a caption, "A new beginning. May this Easter serve as a reminder that light always comes after the longest winters. Grace in full bloom." Fans began to speculate that Wood was teasing the birth of her first baby, and Grace was one possible name. It's quite plausible that she and her spouse are hoping for a girl after having 4 boys. Some admirers speculate that Wood's absence from social media might have been a result of her pregnancy. But according to a recent social media post, Wood is still waiting for her 5th child to arrive. Social media was used to share Don Diamond's recent 40th anniversary event. Don Diamond, who portrayed Brad Carlton on The Young and the Restless, celebrated his 40th anniversary with CBS by posting a carousel on social media. "It's difficult to express how thankful I am for the last 40 years of my career overall," he added. and especially for the amazing event a few days ago that commemorated my 40th anniversary on CBS. He continued, I was lucky to have my family there, and the sentiments expressed by everyone touched me deeply. Saying thank you isn't enough to convey how I feel, but thank you nonetheless. Photographs showed Jacqueline beside Naomi Matsuda and John McCook. Des Moines posted photos of himself with a number of his co-stars from the soap drama. According to Entertainment Now, Wood was there. Wood was pictured with Naomi Matsuda and John McCook in one of the pictures. Even if the auspicious event is probably not too far away, Wood probably wouldn't have gone if she had just given birth. Her pregnancy announcements have been extremely inventive, and she usually posts pictures of the new infants and makes a big deal out of them. Although there have been numerous suggestions, it is yet unknown how her maternity leave will be handled on the show. She was still waiting at the time of the photo shoot, but based on the timing of her pregnancy announcement, her official birth announcement would be made soon. Given that Wood announced her pregnancy in her newsletter, it is likely that she would notify her admirers of the happy news as soon as it happens and whenever she thinks it is appropriate. Fans should also expect Wood to take a vacation from the soap opera following the birth of her child. Taylor Hayes decides enough is enough in the glitzy, complicated world of the bold and the beautiful, where loyalty changes with the tides and destiny is a word that is both sacred and hilariously misused. Wood hasn't confirmed that she has given birth yet, but she regularly shares pinned posts for her fans, often offering them advice and insights into her life. Ridge Forrester's passive allegiance, a man who clings to her warmth while his spirit still flutters towards Brooke Logan, has been taunting her for far too long. After years of being second best, Taylor's patience, which is thin and threadbare, breaks in the most spectacular way possible. She chooses to pop the question. This gesture isn't only romantic, it's war masquerading as a diamond ring. She's putting a bold, last line in the sand, asserting a claim, and not simply asking Ridge to marry her. However, Nick Marone arrives at Deacon Sharp's Illinois Giardino in time to see the spectacle, thanks to fate, which is always the cruel dramatist of Los Angeles. Nick, Brooke's ex-boyfriend and an unpredictable wild card in the never-ending Forrester drama, is sitting just feet away from the year's biggest encounter. Ridge doesn't notice, called in with a mysterious message, still thinking they are just eating lunch, as Taylor enters with measured elegance, her heart racing beneath her fancy blazer. He is unaware that Taylor will soon set a dazzling ultimatum on the table with the breadsticks and wine glasses. Nick, meantime, gets excited at the mention of Ridge's name and has been attempting to re-enter Brooke's circle with a convincing charm that only he can achieve. Nick realizes this is a Hail Mary and not a business meeting after catching a sight of the tiny black box in Taylor's hand. Taylor's voice is equal parts forceful and hopeful as she opens her speech. She uses her own words, not Brooke's, when discussing love, history, and fate. She talks about how Ridge chose her and then, like a moth to flame, he was drawn back to the blonde seductress. However, Taylor claims that it's time to change the story. No more waiting, no more games. She's taking charge. She finds a ring she chose herself when she opens the box. It gleams like a mixture of desperation and hope. Ridge is unable to speak right away because he is torn between adoration and confusion. His gaze flits between the symbol of her commitment between them and Taylor's optimistic countenance. He didn't think this would happen, but has anything in his life ever gone according to plan? Nick, meantime, narrows his eyes and leans forward a little in his chair, taking in every detail of Ridge's expression. It's a front-row seat to Taylor's dream falling apart, and it might be the moment Nick has been waiting for. Nick goes into overdrive at this point. He takes out his phone to make a brief mental note, not to record, because he isn't that cheap. He must inform Brooke. He wants to inform Brooke, though. The lady who believes in fate and soulmates should be aware that her purported soulmate is being dragged into a different future that excludes her. It might be petty. It might be strategic. Perhaps both. Nick, however, sees this as a chance. Torn between their illustrious past and the lies they have told themselves, Brooke has been considering going back to Ridge. Brooke's delusion may finally fall apart if Ridge says yes to Taylor, and Nick will be there to help her pick herself up. Ridge fumbles back at the table. His mouth opens, but nothing comes out. He notices the resolve and fear-tinged tenderness in Taylor's eyes. He is aware that refusing would break her heart. Saying yes, though, he might be locked into an unsatisfactory future as a result. He sees a flashback of Brooke's face, complete with the tears, laughing, and mayhem that go along with love. However, Taylor has always been the one who stayed and was the calm after the storm. Is that worthy of a ring? A promise? Or is it simply remorse posing as devotion? As she holds out the ring, Taylor's fingers tremble a little, but her confident smile conceals her nervousness. She knows Ridge wasn't prepared for this. However, she hopes that he would say yes. Because what happens if he doesn't? Another breakup? Do you want to watch him again, as if gravity were pulling him back into Brooke's arms? Nick watches everything. He is not smiling. He doesn't grin. Rather, like ammo, he files away every expression and hesitancy. It's intelligence. Leverage is this. Now is the time. And when Ridge does talk, it's with the deliberate hesitation of a man attempting to avoid igniting a fire in a gasoline-filled room. This is unexpected, says Ridge in a soft, low voice. Lovely, but surprising. Taylor continues even if her smile falters. Does knowing how you feel have to be expected of you? She inquires. Ridge, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm requesting a future. Our future. There is too much silence. Nick consumes his entire drink. Taylor begs with his eyes. Ridge gives a sigh. After then, the moment ends with the excruciating tension of maybe rather than a yes or no. Afterwards, Nick shows up at Brooke's door. He is not a time waster. His eyes sparkle as he says, "You'll never believe what I saw at Illinois Giardino." Before he even utters Taylor's name, Brooke's face darkens. Brooke senses the air being drawn out of the room when he does, followed by the engagement ring. "You're telling lies," she murmurs. Nick gives a shrug. "I wish I was." Ridge didn't say yes, but he also didn't exactly run out the door. Turning away, Brooke struggles with a mixture of perplexity, envy, and anger. She was aware that Taylor could perform stunts, but this? Making a proposal. Getting Ridge to make a commitment. It's audacious. It's desperate. It works. Because Brooke's future is now in doubt and Ridge has been painted into a corner. Nick takes a step forward. He whispers, "You know, there's a life outside of chasing Ridge. Someone has seen you all the time. Who has never known your value without evidence or promises?" Although Brooke doesn't answer, her quiet is sufficient. She's paying attention. At Forrester Creations, Ridge sits by himself on his desk and gazes at the ring Taylor gave him. He still hasn't responded to her. "I need time," he told her. With a gentle grin hardly masking her panic, Taylor delivered it to him. She is aware of the stakes. It's not just another split if Ridge leaves. It's the end. She cannot continue in this loop. She has staked everything on it. Even her honor. For what purpose? A man still bound to a different woman. Meanwhile, Steffi goes up to her dad. "Are you sincere about Mom?" She insists. Because she is entitled to be informed. "We are entitled to know." Ridge massages his forehead. "Your mother is loved by me." "That's insufficient," Steffi yells. "Not when you continue to appear like a lost puppy whenever Brooke enters the room." Brooke approaches Taylor concurrently. It's not a courteous exchange. "Really? You made a proposal." Brooke laughs. "Did Ridge even wake up when you gave your speech?" Taylor retaliates. "At least I have the courage to pursue my goals." "And you believe Ridge won't remember what we had because of an engagement ring?" Brooke inquires. "Taylor, diamonds cannot erase history." Taylor doesn't flinch. "No. I can, however, write a new one. It's obvious that this isn't finished, but the fight is still simmering. Someone has provoked Brooke." Nick waits, poised to be the rebound, or perhaps more. What about Ridge? He is torn between a future he is scared to seize and two women who define his past. Illinois Giardino turns into a metaphor for conflict, cunning, and heartache rather than love. Days go by. Taylor holds out. Brooke simmers. Nick plots. What about Ridge? He stalls, as he always does. Not for long, though. The blowback from July sweeps demanding answers will be huge this time. Ridge isn't able to avoid forever. Maybe all three will crush someone's heart. Because proposals, especially those made in public over spaghetti, never quite work out as planned. Destiny is constantly contested, and love is rarely kind on the bold and the beautiful. Nick Marone wasn't looking to eavesdrop, at least not this time. All he wanted from Illinois Giardino that beautiful afternoon was a glass of Deacon's best red wine, a peaceful table at the back, and a respite from the chaos that had become Los Angeles romance. However, Destiny, who was always the cunning matchmaker on the bold and the beautiful, had other ideas. Nick had barely finished his first drink when he noticed Taylor Hayes entering the restaurant via the archway with a deliberate gait that caused you to sit up straighter out of habit. Despite her effortlessly stylish and sophisticated attire, she had a smoldering tension in her gaze. Taylor and Nick had been friends for decades. What he saw in her eyes now wasn't just jitters. He had witnessed her in love, pain, and strength. It was a combination of despair and drive. It was the expression of a lady who was going to alter not just her own life but also the life of someone else. As Taylor walked up to Ridge Forrester's table with something hidden in her purse, he leaned forward and paused his drink. Nick narrowed his eyes. Was that a box of rings? No. She refused. Would she? She did. With shaky but determined fingers, Taylor Hayes, Brooke Logan's longtime rival, brilliant psychiatrist, and wounded romantic, took out the ring and fell to one knee. In a dining establishment, ahead of Ridge. Nick's mouth almost fell on the table. Taylor was making a proposal. To Ridge. In public. Without awaiting his lead. Without a fallback strategy. This was not only audacious, it was almost irresponsible. And then, like a rogue wave from the Marone yacht, the entire force of what he was seeing smashed into him. Ridge was unaware that this was going to happen. He didn't request it. Hell, when Taylor sat down, he hadn't even appeared certain. However, she was asking a guy who had married and divorced her more times than Nick could count to marry her again, putting her heart out there like an open sore. Nick felt his heart pound. He had never considered Ridge to be a buddy, a rival, or even Brooke's constant bulwark. Nick now experienced an uneasy mixture of pity and annoyance as he watched Taylor effectively push Ridge into an emotional corner. There was a part of him that respected Taylor's courage. Why should women wait to be selected all the time, after all? However, the other section, which had known the Forresters for too long, was fully aware of Ridge's methods. Being shoved annoyed Ridge. He enjoyed having authority. More than anything else, Ridge enjoyed having alternatives. Taylor was gravely incorrect if she believed that making a public proposal would bind Ridge to her. What if Brooke discovered